All right. We've started recording, everyone. Hello, hello. Nice to see you all. Wanted to have a meetup today of soulpreneurs to kind of see what we're working on and maybe where some blockages are and kind of just meet with each other. So, Michael, I know you are in Australia and it's late where you are. So, why don't you unmute yourself and tell us what you're working on and maybe what kind of blockages or restrictions are going on, or really anything, just to let us know a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you. And yeah, where do I start? So, those of you who are here now know about Beyond Being Human, and I'm on a mission, a big mission. And my little mission is to get to America to go to Contact in the Desert and do all of that. But I'm about $3,000 short of being able to do that. And I've been working very, very hard and putting it out there and doing lots of videos and edits and web pages and all sorts of different things. It's just kind of not really happening. I'm thinking the universe is saying now is not the time.
You need 3,000 is what I heard to sort of get this ball rolling. And with your huge documentary, and remember, this Zoom video is going to be posted to a lot of people who may not be familiar with this special Beyond Being Human documentary, which personally I think is going to be bigger than The Secret. I wanted to donate to your special angel sponsorship fund. You gave a link a while back, but could you post it here in the chat as well for anybody who might want to donate whatever they want for this awesome special project? And then I know that you're also looking at maybe some university collaborations. So if anybody out there is in university for film or for maybe anthropology or all sorts of things that this documentary would have. So give us some examples too, Michael, about, say you were a student in university and wanted to become part of this amazing project. Maybe just talk a little bit about that.
Well, let me start with what Beyond Being Human's all about. The best way is to get a deep dive into the website, and it's all kind of explained there. And the opening text is yours on the homepage now. And thank you very much for that. So Beyond Being Human started off with my angelic encounter several years ago, and it was very, very powerful and led further on to angelic inspiration. And it's been growing and growing and growing. As you see when you get to the website, many, many, many amazing people are now involved in all sorts of different ways. So it's an educational platform with a spiritual mission. That's sort of the basis of it. And we do lots of interviews and conversations and discussion panels. And we're building an online library of 12 particular topics that grew out of the angelic inspiration. And Adam Apollo and Melissa Sophia Joy are the key cast members in the documentary. And so after the angelic encounter that I had, the idea of the documentary formed fairly early, and it's been growing and growing and growing. And I've been working on an overview of the script. And again, the angelic guidance led me to 12 particular topics. And when you go to beyondbeinghuman.org, up the top on the menu, you'll see Explore is one of the menu items. And that's where the virtual realm exchange is what I call it, the library of all of these topics. And so that's going to be growing exponentially with lots and lots of things. And I'm starting to pull in all of the conversations and shows and things that we do into those particular topics. So universities, it's a thing that came up recently in discussion with a bunch of people. One of the ideas that I had about after the documentary is to do like a screening tour and involve people. And the idea being really it's much, much better for people in person to get together. So I got to backtrack again. One of the early inspirations too was to raise the level of awareness and conversation and generally all sorts of things about exploring our multidimensional nature and nurturing our divine spark. And so those are the two main things. The third one really is what's the word? Expanding into love all ways. And those three things kind of the philosophy, I guess, of Beyond Being Human. I also was given the words Beyond Being Human very, very early in that process of, I guess, angelic guidance. Another one was Open Source Awakening, and that is now the byline of the documentary. So educational institutions would play a big part more or less after the documentary. But I'd like to put a call out now, because just last night in discussion with one of our presenters and people who will be in the documentary is I'd like to start doing groups like we did the other day, which was a full moon gathering. You can watch it on YouTube, to start gathering people. And I'm looking for people who'd be willing to open their houses and gather a few people. It doesn't need to be many, or even take out small venues and have meetings where we show some films. Like I've done a number of films. You've seen the Peace Angels one, I think, haven't you, Trina?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can show things like that and have discussions about, like that particular documentary of mine is a testament to the power of prayer. And as we go on and start shooting, we'll be gathering various bits and pieces, focusing on topics and things, and we'll be able to share that to groups well in advance of the release of the final documentary. So I'm looking for people who want to participate in that way, be a leader of their local area. And I sort of see dots of light all around the world. So Zenka and I and a bunch of us, you were there, Trina, and Laurie, we had a meditation about seeing me at Contact in the Desert. And what my vision was in that meditation was these points of light all around the world. And it was like, okay, well, if there's that many people tuning in at the same time, or it might even be staged across different time zones in a certain way. Like we'll do England at one particular time and do America at another time, etc. That would be really, really powerful, I think, and gets the message out there. And it could be a financial win-win for people who are doing the hosting of those sorts of events. And that's one way that we're going to get the message out. And various people on the Patreon campaign that we've got going right now can participate in that way. And of course, all of the members on Beyond Being Human will be able to join in on that too. Well, anyone can join in fact, but yeah.
That sounds awesome. I'm very excited for you, Michael. I did pull some cards for you while you were telling us about the documentary, and I did see the clouds of confusion and doubt. There's self-doubt going on with you right now for sure. So we're here to support you. I know you put a link in the chat about where we could donate for the documentary, which is going to be super fabulous. And I wanted to mention Tanya is here. You may have never met her before, but she knows a lot about the back end of the internet stuff. And I wanted Tanya to sort of talk about what she's working on, because I feel that perhaps in the future there could be some really cool collaboration in some way. But Tanya, tell us about yourself, what you're working on, and maybe some blockages that you're going through right now as well.
Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Tanya Balarjan. I'm in New Jersey. I have been woo-woo for ever, honestly. I have been the high priestess of a coven for a little over 30 years now. It is a teaching coven. But what I'm focusing on right now is building a business where I help other businesses run the back end of their business, learning about how to use Trello as a project management tool, what is a funnel, why we need it, how to set it up, or who to hire to set it up, like what kind of questions to ask the right person, so that you know that you're getting somebody that knows what they're doing and isn't just going to charge you $10,000 to build a website that you can't even use. So that is what I'm working on, and with the focus of helping other holistic woo type persons, because we need the light bringers to really be able to bring the light, because the world really needs it right now. So that is a little bit about who I am and what I do.
That's wonderful, Tanya. And so are you experiencing let's say any blockages or restrictions in your business at this time?
I'm having a hard time getting out of my own way sometimes. That's really what it boils down to. I think I'm like everybody else, where I don't focus on the revenue driving activities. I'm too busy focused on the busy work BS. So I think we all do that. And I just have to, drag myself by the nose back to this is what you're supposed to be doing right now, young lady, kind of thing.
What day were you born? Like
September. I'm a Virgo.
No, but what day, like, of the month were you born? What's the number of the day?
5.
5? Okay, so the freedom seeker, Tanya. You're an unconventional person, change maker. Definitely, we see with the blue hair. I wouldn't be surprised if you had some Aquarius vibe. Lots of Aquarius inside their chart. Loves the blue hair in particular. It's a unique vibe that you're here to break the mold and blaze your own trail, Tanya. That's very exciting. As long as you keep exploring and being able to create the way you want to do and kind of not follow the rules of everybody else, right? And your business works when it's exciting. And your business about being with the back end and all that, with the funnels and everything, that's kind of like a digital nomad, Tanya. So I think that you're going on the right path, and I'm so excited for you. And then I wanted to say with Michael, I know that you're a life path 4, which is you need the security and the strategy, and then you implement, right? You're the foundation maker. So When you have nice grounded containers for transformation, like you're talking about hosting, you know how you're saying with the groups, you like that. That's good for you too, because it's a long-term plan thing. It's a grounded strategy for you, Michael, too. You're not here about fast fame. It's a long process. And so the challenges you're having here with the funding, for example, and that, I think it's all part of the big, looking at the big strategy as a whole. And yes, maybe it's not exactly time right now to launch the documentary or whatever. Maybe it's because the universe is trying to get you to build those foundations first, and then all the action will come. So, for now, I still think you should continue to do that. The crowdfunding campaigns, make it cool, make people feel like it's a part of the documentary, and that excitement, I think, will carry you into, I know that you're seeking a few million for the actual documentary, right? The filming and stuff. So, that's a big project. So I do have good faith in you, and I'm glad you posted that link. I will donate today and get you fired up for the rest to come, and as you're building these foundations with the universities and the people, I think that's excellent, Michael.
Yeah, there's a new crowdfunding campaign platform called Visionary Fund. Okay. And I got introduced to the owner of that, who is part of another group called Masterminding Eden, which is a huge project, really amazing kind of thing. And you can have a look. I'll put the link in here as well. But anyway, I was talking to her yesterday, and she said, after looking at my initial page about the whole project, she said, do one right now. You've got 48 hours to put a last call out for Contact in the Desert and see how that goes. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. It's 4 a.m. here now, so getting up nice and early birds catch the worm.
Well, thank you, Michael, for coming here today and sharing with us. I knew it was really late in Australia, and I appreciate you. I wanted people to hear what's happening with you and the excitement of this documentary. So you better go to sleep, and unless you want to stay up with us, but I just wanted to let you know, thank you so much. Okay, Lori, it's your turn, girl. Tell us about who you are, what you do, and maybe some restrictions or blockages you're having.
Well, I've had a lot of transition going on right now, is what's happening with me. I'm getting ready to move somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I've had a few real estate things come through. So here in the next coming week, I will be much more mobile than I've ever been in my life before. I just finished writing my children's book 2 days ago. So yeah, my oldest daughter is going to illustrate for me. So that's super exciting. It was just the first draft, so I don't want to say, but I actually finished writing it, so I'm going back a little bit there, and then that's going to be published coming up soon. I'm also working on a course for healing. It's like a 3-part course. You're going to heal yourself, then you're going to heal your connections, and you're going to heal your environment. So as far as blockages go, I don't really I feel like everything is happening and perfectly for me in a perfect alignment. That's going to put me exactly where I need to be. My car did just break down last week. I feel like that's to make space for a better car because it's been having a lot of problems and stuff. I guess my biggest thing would be not knowing where to go, because there's lots of places that I feel drawn to, like a lot of places. And like you talking about the lights all over the world, like I have friends, in Australia, all the way to South Africa to, Germany and just all Hawaii, all across everywhere. And I really vibe with that. So I'm really interested as well in being one of those centers for what you were talking about, Michael. But yeah, I guess that would be about, if I had a blockage, that would be about it. Just not knowing where to go. But I'm good with that, not knowing, really.
Oh, that's awesome, Lori. Yeah, you're a Taurus, right? Like my son. You guys have the same birthday. So happy birthday the other day to Lori. I do see here that we got the full moon in Sagittarius coming up here in June. I forget what day. We'll have to look that up. That's happening for transformation big time in the 8th house for you. So I'm guessing that week there'll be a lot of completions. You'll know exactly what's happening, and it'll be like a lot more clear and that. So that should be good for you. And I do see some home energy for you, Lori, as well, the real estate and home energy for you, at least until June 17th. So I'm thinking that between now and June 17th, you'll know where you're going and how to get there. So that looks good for you, Lori. And congratulations on your book. That sounds exciting. Will it be hosted on Amazon, or how does one purchase your book?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Kindle Direct Publishing is like amazingly easy and cheap. Like I never knew until recently that you could get a book published that easily. So yeah, definitely gonna probably be going with the Kindle Direct. Just because that's easiest way to get it out there. And then I'll be letting everyone know once it's available, of course.
Wonderful. All right, Padma, would you be interested in telling us a little about what's going on with you?
Yes, thank you. Hi. So I am Padma Linda Bliss. I'm a yoga therapist. I work with people who are in pain. So I work one-on-one. But my big vision is to sort of funnel people to retreats they're for women who have lived with chronic illness. So I'm going to guide them in like an eco-tourism adventures where they have accommodations, like physical accommodations, support, and healing. So that's my big, picture, maybe hopefully next year. Also, I'm working on working my website, creating a video, like an on-demand video bank for yoga and essential oils to support physical and emotional health. And my favorite thing to do is the Vichara guided self-inquiry. It's like talk therapy. It's like yoga for your mind. And that supports emotional and mental health, which I think we need more of. And I'm working on creating a group setting, like a Zoom setting, where I can do this with several people at the same time, rather than one-on-one over the phone. But it's really transformative for people. And it clears away like the surface thoughts and helps you focus on your inner voice. So it helps you sort of access your intuition, your deeper truth, and yourself. So that's me.
Hey, Michael, on your website, you have kind of a directory sort of thing. I wonder if Padma, I don't know, you guys should talk later. Maybe she could be one of your people on there.
Definitely. Yeah. And I'll put the link of that in here as well. There's lots and lots of links with all sorts of different things. And the thing with that is it's a directory of online media, but also associations and organizations doing different things. I just started a podcast called Backstage at Beyond, but I'll show you this page. And if you would like to do a paragraph or send me a paragraph, probably about 150 words is good, and an image, and I'll show you what that looks like. Hang on a sec. Talk amongst yourselves.
Thank you, Mike.
I wanted to say to Tanya too, I forgot to tell you, Virgo, 10th house of career starting today. By the way, happy Gemini season. If I didn't tell you that, today's the first day of Gemini season. So for Virgos, for example, that's your 10th house of career, fame, and recognition, Tanya. So I'm excited to see how you get yourself, because you're at the top of the chart everybody's looking at you, Tanya, for your next thing. So, like, I'm sure you're involved in a bunch of meetings and societies and maybe some podcasts, getting your word out to the people so people can find you and get visible, right? Can't hear you. You're muted.
It's starting to get a little ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, here now. Yeah.
Like, you mean with your visibility? Like, it's getting ridiculous? Like, you're getting too popular? If there is such a thing?
It's definitely starting to pop off. The need to restart the podcast is starting to bite at my butt, so we're going to be doing that again soon.
Oh, that is great. I love it. Okay, so who has not... Let's see here, participants. Jacqueline, you're in here. Hi.
Yeah, that's Jack. That's my friend. I invited. Jack, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
So I apologize. I was just I would like to introduce myself, but I apologize. I wasn't rapid in responding because I was on the mute thing on the video and audio, so I didn't disturb the call. But I was enjoying everything I heard, and I've had a particularly synchronistic day, to put it mildly, the last 3 days. And I'm sure you know, because you sound a little astrologically tuned in, that this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is a really powerful time for light bringers and, new world networkers, from the bringing the light into the grounding on the earth. Just to give you a thumbnail of who I am and what I do, my background is systems. I design systems and help others build, test, and roll them out. I've done everything from working directly for Steve Jobs and directly for Elon Musk now, to working for IBM and other companies when they were in their infancy. I'm nearly 64 years old. In a few days, I'll be 26th of July, I will be 64. There's an old song, you're probably too young to remember it, but it's a Beatles song about, will you still love me when I'm 64? I think that's going to be my theme tune for this year. But I celebrate my birthday every year by taking June, July, and August off. So I teach people basically how to do a 4-day work year. So you work 4 days a year and everything else is automated. And it gives you a lot of freedom to, enjoy your resources and your family and whoever else you want to hang with. I'm actually supposed to be going out right now. It starts about 1 minute ago, but that's fine. I saw it last night. The new Mission Impossible movie from Tom Cruise, which isn't officially out till Friday, but they're showing it on Monday and Tuesday for disabled people with subtitles. And it's probably the best movie I've ever seen anybody make, not just him. It's very relevant to what's going on in the world today. It's inspirational. It sort of touches, moves, and inspires people who are into, action drama, I suppose you could call it. But it's relevant to AI and all the fears people have about that and all the stuff that's going on. And God, the things I could talk about. But let's just focus here for a second. So I wasn't planning to be on the call. Laurie was kind enough to invite me. I just happened to see it, and it's made me late for the movie, but it's fine. I saw it last night anyway. I was just going to go and see it again tonight. But I would recommend people to watch it as soon as you get it. It's called MI8, Mission Impossible 8. I think it's called
I
Final.
like those Mission Impossible movies. I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, me too. But what I shouldn't tell you, but I'm going to anyway because I can.
Yes, tell us.
So I just got back from Dubai, where I did a lot of work for the Dubai World Expo in 2020 that got basically delayed to 2023 by COVID bullshit. But anyway, the point is, sorry, I shouldn't have said that, should I?
That's fine.
More refined language.
Swear away. We're cool here.
That's fine. So, but I don't usually do that. I must be something in the listening. Somebody likes using those kind of words. It's probably Laurie, knowing her as I do.
Laurie, yes.
That's okay. It's fine. Anyway, so I helped set up the 2020 World Expo in Dubai, and I did the 2015 one in Milan, Italy, and I also did the one for 2008 for China for their Olympics. And I also did the one in Kazakhstan in 2017 and the one in Yeosu, Korea in 2012. So I'm kind of good at helping big projects get completed, but I'm particularly expert at getting disruptive technologies to market without the inventor getting circumvented or killed. And so I'm kind of in a very sort of unusual, small, tight-knit circle of people who know that I exist and what I do. And in the last 72 hours, amazing things are happening and just unbelievable stuff. So I'll tell you a funny story. It's relevant. I don't want to go too long because I don't know how long we've got. And obviously the guy in Australia is probably trying to just keep his eyes open and use matchsticks to keep him on. But my point was, I flew back from the Arab Emirates yesterday. I was supposed to be back from the Caymans where I'd spent 28 days with my brother, but I had to go to Dubai to do something for basically 48 hours. And there was quite a long trip there and a very long trip back. And I was straight off a 23-hour flight, basically. And I was tired and I was trying to stay awake. But the flight that I was on, which was sort of donated by Trump and his friends, was went straight to Southampton. So I didn't have to go to Gatwick and catch a longer trip to get home. But more importantly, I could see the Tom Cruise movie on this pre-thing before it was officially launched. And I was really pleased to do that. But I had to stay awake on the flight where they gave me unlimited food and beverage of anything I wanted, including alcohol, which is dangerous for me because I'm on a seafood diet. When I see food, I eat it. And so it's very difficult because I felt like I got pregnant with triplets by the time I got off the plane, and I was tired. And I now had the opportunity to, if I stayed up for 5 more hours, to actually go and see the film. So I did that and then watched the film till 10:30. And then my neighbor forgot to pick me up because she fell asleep. She fell asleep while I'd done all that. It was really funny. Anyway, so go to bus home. And I got home and everything's gone really well. What I want to say to you, which is relevant to the context of your call by the sound of it, because what is the actual context of the conversation?
Well, we were going to say, what do you do? And maybe what challenges you're having. And we can sort of brainstorm about helping you through any restrictions or challenges. It doesn't have to be business related. It can be life, because us as soulpreneurs, life and business are intertwined very deeply. So that was kind of the thing.
That's very cool. So it's useful to know the context, because Laurie just invited me because it was her and I saw it and I thought I'll just get on and see how it is and what they're up to. And I'm obviously still awake, interestingly, semi-awake, I think might be a more accurate description. I think in my personal life, I'm actually for the first time ever looking for a soul partner that could actually travel with me and do what I do and enjoy living with me energetically or physically or regularly. And so I'm exploring and inquiring and discovering into what that might look like, practically and logistically, because I go a lot of places and do a lot of things. And I'm also resetting my whole life, basically, by the time I'm 64, which is only 2 months away. And interestingly enough, I think I will tell you this, I wasn't going to, but I'm going to now. On Friday, the 19th of July, 1985, I was pronounced dead in a hospital in Bristol, just down the road from where I am now. And they actually went as far as putting me in the morgue in those Ziploc bags that they put the body in. And I woke up in the Ziploc bag, unable to breathe, and didn't know where I was. It was dark, and I hit my head as I'm trying to get up, in this bag, and hit my head on the drawer above me. And the woman who was the first day in the morgue, sort of putting bodies in and doing, she screamed at the top of her voice because she thought they put the rock, somebody's alive in this box in the drawer in the wall. And she screamed, and she gets her phone and she's on speakerphone and she's talking to the director of the hospital saying, "What do I do? Something moving in one of the drawers." I think, anyway, he told her, and I could hear him say, "Just put the being back where it came from, in the ward of the bed that it came from, and don't tell anybody what's happened." And I'm going, just unzip the fucking bag so I don't start. Anyway, it was a very strange situation to be in. This happened in 1985, so probably before you were born. But it was a Friday, the 19th of July. And what's funny about it was that's 7 days to the day before my birthday. So every year I celebrate my death day on the 19th of July and my birthday on the 26th of July, a week later. And so this year somehow I'm getting God bumps just telling you this. It feels differently significant than it was then. Because number one, I've lived longer than the doctor who ran the hospital and the people who attended me while I was in there when they pronounced me dead, right? So they were obviously wrong about that. And I've lived through a lot of stuff since then, to put it mildly. And I'm still alive, but not only am I alive, I am more creative and conscious and helpful than I've ever been. If you knew the calls I was on the last 72 hours, you'd be shocked. The people that I'm in communication with in a very effective, productive, deliverable result way, not a conversation about way, because it's experiential. You can have a great idea like, let's go to the moon, let's go to Mars, but that's one great idea. Now, how do you get there and back safely without killing people and damaging things, right? And I'm resetting the whole of global economics right now with Elon. I'm resetting the whole of what we'll call communication systems with Elon and my other two partners. And I'm basically resetting the whole of the quality of life and business for the better forever for everybody with my stuff. So, and I've developed a Pi phone, which is Elon's putting out in one form, I'm putting out another form called PT, which is a photonics transceiver. So it moves, instead of using electricity like all the technology you use, which I've helped a lot of the design, build, and test and rollout of. The new Pi phone, the photonics transceiver, basically works on light instead of electricity. So electricity is using resistance, and light works on flow, which is the natural order of things. And everything is resonance and vibration and frequency. And I know more about this stuff because of what I've studied and who I am. And so I've been very helpful to very pivotally well-positioned people like the new president of America and Elon Musk and his many projects, and the recalibration of global economics. But what's most interesting about this device that I want to release this year, not next year, they think we can't do it this year, but I think we can for all sorts of reasons. Everything's quickening and accelerating. A photonics transceiver is free of charge to every human being, so you don't pay for it. It works always on, always up, no degradation, no delay in signal. It basically takes a photon, which is a particle of light, charges it up with holographic audio, visual, and textual information, then excites the photon so it moves from a particle format to a wave format, and goes directly in a straight line through the center of the Earth and out through to the edge of the cosmos. And when it gets de-excited on the other end on another transceiver, it literally is like an exact replica of the original transmission of holographic, photographic, textual and visual and auditory information. So there's no delay, no degradation in signal, and anybody can see and hear and communicate with anybody anywhere, irrespective of language and location in the cosmos, not just on Mars or the moon, but anywhere on and through the Earth. And you don't need antennas and all that stuff. It works direct, point to point, and it has no interference, no delay, and no degradation. The most important part is everybody can see and be seen, hear and be heard, text and be texted, translate and be translated, real-time live, without all the complexities of all these apps and things you're using now to sort of bolt things together, if you know what I mean, and do all this stuff that you poor people are doing with podcasts. And it's just hard work compared to this. Will make so much simpler and easier and more elegant and natural for people. And so you'll be able to directly connect with anybody anywhere, real-time live, a whole system that's working already and fully tested, that makes sure that you don't get overwhelmed by that capacity, because it's kind of overwhelming when you have limitless choice and limitless resources.
Is it like using a device? Yeah,
it's a device, but basically your being is already that device. Your body and your being is built into your being. You just don't know how to turn it on and use it yet.
Interesting. That light stuff's been coming up everywhere in my reality, not just with Zenka and LightNet, and then also I'm with Lightwave with the patches, the light stuff. It's been kind of funny. I wanted to say to you too that while you're talking about the communications and the phone calls you've been having, that came up in my cards. Like, I'm a card author, but I just wanted to let you know I had pulled some cards for you, and it shows that you've been doing a lot of talking, communications, letters, and I see for you on the 25th to the 30th. I'm not sure if it's going to be this month or next month, but that week of the 25th to the 30th, there's going to be new contracts that you are making. So that sounds very exciting indeed.
It
so
is.
Yay.
Thank you for that feedback and input. It's very valuable and timely and useful and relevant.
And I wanted to say too that I think that you're going to make a commitment to, because you're looking for a partner to soul travel with, right? And I think that that's coming too, and it's going to be someone. You said before I was born, but I was born in 1978, so.
I would not have guessed that. I would have thought you were much younger than that.
Oh, thank you. But
do you have any children?
Yeah, I got two. So Laurie's birthday was just passed, and it was the same birthday as my 12. He just turned 12, Hunter, and then I got a 10-year-old named Hayden. But for both boys, yeah.
Very cool. Are you still with the father or not?
No, but we have a good co-parenting relationship. Cool. And that was something that I had struggled with for a few years with him, but we're friends now, so that's good.
So I don't usually tell this, but since we're on the conversation about this, Elon has 16 children. One died, and one converted to a boy from a girl, and disowned her father, or his father, I suppose you'd say now. And that was very difficult for Elon to deal with, just the dynamics. But he's got a lot of kids, basically, and he thinks it's very important that he gets as many kids with his DNA and his intelligence and creativity into the world as possible, which sounds a little selfish maybe, but it's actually very strategically thought through, okay? And I don't usually talk about this because Ashley Lee, who knows me very well and knows Zenka really well and knows Laurie through me, I think, I actually have 18 children that I know of. And because I used to travel so much, I was very honest with people up front. I said, you really don't want to be entangled with me because I travel all the time. I'm never anywhere, for more than a week or two or a month, and so it'd be very destabilizing to have me as your primary partner or a life partner because it'd just be unfair on you and unfair on the kids. But as it turns out, I had no kids until I was 42, and then now I've had 18. So it's quite a lot of kids for somebody who's 64 nearly in a short space of time. And it's not because I'm, what's the word I was going to use? Sort of weird word I was going to use, but it's not like I'm, I teach Tantra, which is not the form of Tantra that people understand in the West. It's Eastern, very advanced Tantra. But it basically gets energy where it's supposed to be going instead of blocking it and locking it and stopping it. So I'm very open. And people are surprised that somebody with my background and experience is that transparent and real and also open and direct. And it's quite confronting to people when you are real and straight with them. Because they're not used to people being real and straight and direct. They skirt around things. So it's kind of disarming and confronting when you're with somebody who's unpredictable, uncontrollable, and they don't really know what to do with that, right? But now that I have 18 kids and I'm starting to identify where they all are and who they're all with and what they're up to, they're all thriving and prospering. Not just because I've got genetically connected resource to them, but energetically, spiritually, they have my template, if you can call it that, right? And so I was in the Cayman Islands for a month with my brother for 28 days, who runs a hedge fund there, and he's based there now. He's a resident over there. And I had my son and daughter come in for the first week. So we arrived on the 22nd of April, and my daughter and son, Gabriel, who's turning 25 on the 1st of August, and my daughter Ariel, who just turned 26 on the 15th of December, they both flew in from Canada on separate places they came from, flew direct into Cayman and spent a whole week with me, or invested a whole week with me and my brother, and lived in the same 2-bedroom flat. So I slept in a bed with my brother and they slept together. And it was really a bit wild and weird, but it was great and really cool. And I got them to swim with dolphins and do really cool stuff. It turns out Gabe my son, who I wrote this book for almost 10 years ago on the 1st of August, his birthday, when he was just 15, all the proceeds for that book go to him. And he didn't know I'd even written the book, much less what it was all about. And so it was really weird being with him. And he had no idea why he had nystagmus and what had happened because of the drama with his mother and all that stuff, which I don't want to bore you with because I could talk for days. But I do want you to understand that when you are the creator of a new life, not just as a business form of life, but a personal human form of life, there is a sort of stewardship responsibility, energetically, if not physically, all day and night, to be a steward and custodian of the full potential of that being or that business, okay? And that maintenance and management isn't just financial, it's relational and communicational. And so everything I've written in my books and all my materials, which are deliverable experiences, is because humans don't understand being fully responsible, 100% responsible for everything that does and doesn't happen and the consequence of your choices. Because sometimes when you make a choice, at the moment of choosing, you have no idea where it's going to lead you and what it's going to cause as consequences and ricochet effects in the world. But now, looking back at nearly 64 years of age, it's becoming clearer and clearer to me that the things I visualized and optimized and actualized as a kid were accurate. I just didn't know how to complete them. So I could see things, but I couldn't do them yet. Most frustrating thing is being a teenager when you have all the answers and no money and nobody's listening. And if they just listened to you, the world would work, but they don't, right? And then you get older and wiser and more experienced and survive all the things you survive, because what doesn't kill you can make you stronger if and only if you survive, right? But if you survive all the stuff that life throws at you and the dimensions and dynamics you create for yourself in your life, then you discover this zone that I feel I'm in now to reset everything, not just myself and the world, but the future of humankind. So I'm very excited at the moment, not just because I'm on the call with you and with the team that's on, but because I have a knowing. It's not a hoping, wishing, praying, and believing and trusting. It's pure knowing. And there's nothing more scary than a person who knows who they are, knows what they can actually do and not do, like the difference between what's possible and not yet possible, and not to be committed to in the first place, because you've got to keep saying no until finally it is time to say yes. And it's upon this final yes that the future, the whole of humankind depends. So that's a lot to talk about and digest and metabolize and integrate and whatever you do with it. But I'm really joyful.
Love it.
To call with you.
I think it's cool. You know, I just recently embodied my life path 3 numbers. So I'm practicing what I'm preaching. And 3 is all about, you know, the communications and networking like this and collaborating and stuff. And it's only been a few weeks that I've actually embodied the 3, and I'm really enjoying it, you know, meeting up with high vibe people like you guys and all these things happening in my life too. And it's kind of fun just enjoying the journey and not exactly knowing what the outcome's gonna be. It's like the getting there. It's like the other day when I took my kids to go visit my parents. They haven't seen their grandparents in a while. And the trip there is about 5 hours of driving. So we stopped every hour, played at every playground, every skate park. You know what I mean? And it was just the whole journey there was the funnest part. So thank you for that.
No, thank you for sharing that. And be really clear that it is the destination and the journey. It's not either or, it's both and. Abundance is both and. Scarcity is either or. So when you think either chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla, I go, I'll have all 3 and I'll have some sorbet on the side. So it's like being abundant is thinking about all the options that are possible and choosing the ones that work for you. Now, you don't have to overeat like I did and hardly be able to walk off the plate because they get me endless food. But that's just my style. I like to play with everything and everybody. I don't like to miss out on cool stuff and tasty people, right? So that's why I've got so prolific in creativity.
My hubby taught me that because I was always like, should I do this or that? He's like, why do one when you can do it all? And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you can do it all.
Very cool. And you can, and you are. And that's what's cool about you. You see, you've already got clear on that in your being, right? And that's why you're fun to be around, and people learn stuff just being around you, whether it's your kids or men that want to be your husband or men that are your husband or were your husband, whichever it is, right? It's you being you authentically and really fully present and fully transparently communicative. That inspires and moves people and touches their soul and their spirit and their heart.
So sweet. I love it. Ashley, I seen you entered the room. Did you want to not be shy and tell us a little bit about yourself? If not, that's okay too. You don't have to, but I'm giving you the floor if you want to unmute yourself and tell us, Ashley.
Ashley is usually so shy, she doesn't even admit she's there.
That's fine too. No worries.
No, I'm joking. Is she there?
She's not answering, so maybe she's like,
She
leave
probably
me alone,
is.
Trina.
I'm
She's probably
here.
got no clothes on, is embarrassed or something. She come off camera or on camera. Hi, Ashley Lee.
Hi, everyone.
There she
I'm
is.
here.
Are we only allowed to see your head because we're worried you got no clothes on underneath?
No, I have clothes on underneath. I just
checking.
got out of the shower.
Okay. How are you?
I am good. How are you all?
We're awesome. Do you know what this call is about?
I don't. Lori invited us. Thank you, Lori, for inviting us. I'm so
Lori's
grateful.
awesome. Well, actually, this is about a Soulpreneur meetup. We're just meeting each other, collaborating with each other, telling stories. But we want to know, what do you do, Ashley, for all the new people in your world, and maybe some restrictions or blockages you might be having along the way. But we want to hear from you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so great to meet you. I think I've seen you before, Trina, in other environments, maybe at LightNet or with Zinka.
Yes,
Both of those.
we just did on my Facebook page, the Intuitive Collective. We did the Intuitive Power Power Festival, the Intuitive Power Festival, and Zenka. I interviewed her on there. Maybe we saw, and then maybe we've seen each other in some of the our LightNet meetings. That's how I met Lori. So we're all starting to collaborate and gather. It's kind of cool all over the world, right? You ever notice that you're like one person and 5,000 people around you are not awakened? And well, I had found out from this guy named Chris Anatra. He's the quantum businessman on YouTube. Fantastic guy. But anyway, he said for one of us dragon players, there's 5,000 NPCs. So that's why a lot of times we feel kind of alone in our neck of the woods. So it's fun to gather together as high-minded, But anyways, I'm sorry, Ashley. It's your turn. You tell us about yourself.
No, you did great. Thank you for the introduction. That's beautiful. My turn. What's about me? I'm a consistently evolving being that is on the journey and not the destination. And the journey is miraculous every moment of every day, with every breath in every way. And some of the miraculousness that is occurring is really diving in deeper to our physical bodies and how to access our brilliance and our energy systems inside our physical body, and how to become aware of them, sense them, know them, experience them, and work with them in ways we hadn't had access to before. So that's it in a nutshell.
Do you have a business?
I have many. I have many focuses all at once. One is developing quantum toys that are sacred geometry that elucidates and brings forward the opportunity of our brilliance in every moment. It gives us access to our awareness of innocence. And inside these quantum toys, it's designed and developed to support children and families connect to their brilliance, their inner guidance, their inner knowing, eloquently, easily, and without filters, to be able to have access in the moment to their pure form existence. And in that brings forward an opportunity to bring forward lessons, courses, and opportunities to share in energy mastery for kids preconception through young adulthood, mastering their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and bringing together practitioners around the world that know how to deliver such courses and understandings of energy mastery for kids and families.
Oh, that is so cool that you with the kids. I love that.
Thank you. I just had an 17-year-old call me the other day, and she said, "What are the laws of telepathy?" And I said, well, that's an interesting question. Let's dive a little deeper into what we mean by that. So it was interesting because she's experiencing a lot of telepathy, but a lot of negative telepathy with positive telepathy. And so wanting to learn how to discern and how to speak and how to create boundaries that are boundless. So boundless boundaries. And what that means and how to interact and relate with one another effectively, lovingly, and supportively for ourselves, each other, and the environments we choose to create.
Well, I pulled 2 cards from our decks, the Power of 8, and I see the Rider. So you're getting some news or visitors soon, and it looks like it's good luck. So you maybe have been expecting a message, Ashley, or you're waiting for that person to arrive or whatever that is, but it's looking good for you and some luck is on your side too. So that looks good. What's your zodiac sign, Ashley?
It's Taurus. I just had my 61st birthday.
So did Lori, just had her birthday on the 18th, and so did my son on the 18th. What was your day?
13th.
13th. Oh, you're a 1 + 3 = 4. Oh, you're really good at building foundations, like one of your little secret gifts on the side there that you can implement. You're architecting the long-term plan and the strategy for people. So that looks very cool. You could do like a monthly planning circle in your business, offer, I don't know, something like that, but you've got that wisdom and the deeper creating step-by-step program kind of thing. And I just want to let you know, Ashley, that done is better than perfect. Okay, don't wait to launch just because it has to be all perfect. It's safe for you to be visible with that Rider card there. We have the good luck, and that's the solar plexus chakra. So having confidence, and so it's safe for you to just, but there's also like make sure you get your rest. Like there's like when you got a nap, you got permission. Okay, like just go. Yeah. And there's this letting your intuition guide the structure, not letting the structure guide your intuition, which I think you're doing. So that looks exciting for you, Ashley, indeed. Just don't get stuck in the planning. Make sure you launch. You got that idea, go for it. Do it dirty. Can always be fixed later. So,
okay.
Yeah. So that looks good.
Thank you.
I really like do it dirty.
You like do it dirty? Yeah.
I just like the phrase, the do it dirty, because it could be so many contextual, interpretations of it. It's like a nuance, like some people, you know what I'm saying.
Well,
but I like it.
So a lot of us entrepreneurs are like, we got to have everything so perfect before we launch, or we got to so perfect before we do something. And it's like, just go.
Just get it done. Let it go. Let it out.
The world needs you. The world wants to hear from you. It's a disservice to keep it under wraps until it's just perfect. It'll never be just so perfect. Yeah. So
I used to say to Ashley Lee when I was coaching her, when she used to let me coach her, because she's so much far advanced now that she doesn't need coaching from anybody anywhere. But,
you're funny.
I can be. But I know Ashley relatively well, and she knows me very well. And what I was going to say, I used to say to her, it's so selfish of you to hide you and your light under a bushel so nobody even knows who you are, where you are, what you do. So how could they possibly find you? Make it so hard for people. And you got to let go of all that.
Meditation today.
Oh, did you? What does that mean? Tell me more.
I had to, and somebody named Michael that we know called me and said, I have a past life that I'm dealing with for the last 2 years. And I'm like, welcome to the show. So,
well, look.
Yeah, I think it's not just past lives that we have to deal with and clear and really work with to bring in our whole being this lifetime. But also it's clearing the field so that they're ready to receive what we came to be.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying before you got on the call, actually, because the last 3 days has been unbelievably extraordinary for me. I mean, just back-to-back connections and calls and stuff, and all my money stuff's been handled, by the way. And all this
right.
other stuff's been handled. So I was just, because I was traveling and it was hard to get apps working, and still not working, but I don't need the apps. Just call the bank director and say, can you move this money there, and can you do that there, and is there enough? And there's more than enough, as there always is when you stop trying to fix it and make it work, linearly. But what I was going to say, sorry, go on. Was there something else I want to say?
No, I was going to say that exactly right. And so as we clear the field to prepare the opportunity for what it is, it's like painting a house. You don't just go in and slap the paint all around. You prepare the house. You prepare the environment to be received. So that's what I've been in.
Okay, well, it's interesting you use that analogy for a number of reasons. But anyway, the point I want to make, so I don't go off on too much of a tangent with that opportunity that you just created. Some people, when they paint, they're very specific, and they're really very meticulous about the painting. And professional painters, particularly, use the proper masking tape and all this stuff. And other people just slap it on, squirt it around, and sell their paintings for millions of dollars.
Or they tape a banana. They tape a banana on top of the canvas and sell that for $1 million. I was like, what?
Yeah, and then they offer the first person that pays $1 billion to be able to eat the banana. I have a very good friend who's a tantrika, and she actually is a chef, and she has parties where people eat food from each other's bodies.
Oh, interesting.
So you cover yourself in foods, and other people eat food from your bodies, and it's very creative and very intimate and sensual, but it's really cool because the people have to get past their stuff and their stories about what you can and can't say and can and can't do, and how you can and can't occur for others, and how wild and crazy you can be, and what you can drink and eat, and what you can't eat and can't drink, and all that stuff.
Fantastic.
You are fantastic. I'm really glad to make your acquaintance because you're really cool.
You too. I appreciate all of you. All right. So I guess the hour is, what time is it here? Have we done our hour?
Time is always now. Now is the only time there really is.
Okay.
Let me just say one thing to you, though.
Yes.
My book and the back door to everything I do is called, the name of the book is nowjaq.com, NOWJAQ.com. Now stands for New Optimal World, or Next Optimal World, and JAQ stands for Just Ask Questions. So it's nowjaq.com, and you can get both to WhatsApp there, you can get to the whole group of WhatsApp people, you can get to the whole of the Zoom calls just by clicking the third picture down. Bottom right is like I guess you call it a webmaster, a guy called Rick, who runs my web for 14 years now. So if there's anybody trying to reach me, he'll ping me and tell me somebody's trying to get you or something's going on that you need attention on. And then actually Lee runs the Zoom side, and I let the WhatsApp run itself. There's lots of groups there that you can join, and community-wise mix and mingle, and it's excellent for networking if you're into that kind of thing.
Okay, perfect. And then we can search for each other too, connect with each other, write down everybody's names, everybody, because we can look for each other and connect on Facebook, be friends with each other on Facebook, and go to each other's program, like meetings and all this kind of stuff in the future, and keep collaborating and getting more people maybe awake as well along the way, or whatever, along the journey. But it's always fun to collaborate with like-minded spiritual folks. So it's been such a pleasure. Make sure you put your link in the chat right now too, to whatever thing you want us to check out first. So whatever link, Lori, Padma, Tanya, all of you guys, whatever links you guys want to put in there so we could check you out more and be a part of your world, that would be exciting. And make sure you're part of the Intuitive Collective, my Facebook group. I guess I'll post my link to that group in case you're not a part, where you could watch the festival presenters such as Zanka and all these people that have posted their speeches and great talks for to growing our intuition and stuff. There's some great stuff in there too. So I'll post that right now.
I really wanted to give you a testimonial about your energy and your wisdom, and like we connected on Zenka's call to begin with, but even there, your vivaciousness just burst out like a ray of sunshine, and all power to you. That's all I got to say.
All power to you. I like that. All power to you.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate
and I'd love
you
to
as
talk
well.
with you too.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to end the recording part of this, and let's stick around. I wouldn't mind having a bathroom break, though. And
Go. You have 5 minutes.
Why?
Go.
Let me press end here. Okay.